One should not reward children throwing a temper tantrum, but I'm fed up with the way Railroader modding community behaved, and the extra work it dumped on the game's developers. I honestly expected more maturity. That was so naive. So here it is, you win. The site is back with crevices first,
Caveat.
and I'm going to say crevices because because to be fair, Americans only get access to this page with zip downloads.
I kind of wish that we could, grab it for ourselves.
Yeah, I would be able to. I would ask for the link, but I also don't want to ask for the link.
Yeah.
Because if I have the link, I can just open it myself, because it will ignore the redirect. But, where was I? First, it says online, as long as Railroader and the mods stay compatible with the game. After that, it's gone. Second, I will likely not be publishing my mods publicly anywhere. I do not know yet if I will continue modding at all, or if, in future, protect my mods with some fashion. I'll put a little effort into it so that it'll be more difficult and more annoying than simply re-uploading a zip. It was never just about politics. That was only the last straw. My work has been mocked and dismissed for over a year, and suddenly when it disappeared, it became essential. Could explain more, but it would be wasted breath. Those who need to read this have already scrolled straight to the downloads. To those who did nothing wrong, I'm sorry you're caught in the blast. As usual, a loud minority ruins it for everyone, and I refuse to entertain those self-righteous morons any further. That is sad. I mean, I'm reading that for the second time, and that's still wild.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Wild. Because that message is aimed towards the entire community.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's for the entire community, but it's only given to Americans, because I feel like Americans make up a good majority of Railroaders' community.
Yeah.
Because for us, we're in Australia, we don't get affected by this shit because we're not stupid, for one. And for two, we don't do this shit. We don't take stuff for granted.
Well, that's right.
And, I mean, I know for us in experience, we don't complain if shit breaks, or if a mod, it just stops working, because a lot of the time I can go in and fix it anyways.
Yeah.
But it's been a thing since Railroader became a thing 2 weeks after the game released, back in December of 2023. Or was it 2022? Was it December 2022 or 23? It was 23, wasn't it?
23.
23. Yeah, it was like, what, December, 12th?
Yeah.
And I know we played it the day it came out, and we didn't start modding the game for, I think it was 2-3 months.
Yes. It was a little bit after.
I think it was when we did a restart and we added an East Witter mod.
Yeah.
I think the mod that we originally... I think the first mod that we ever got was a yard expansion for East Wit. I think that was the very first yacht mod we ever used.
Yeah, I think so. It was something small. It was definitely an East Wit.
And then I think we also had Alina's map mods at the time. Yeah, no, it was Alina map mods. That was the first mod that we had, the original Alina map mods file, which I'm pretty sure I still actually have that file.
That's crazy. That's so long ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still have that somewhere.
Somewhere.
I might have gotten rid of it because I've recently cleaned out my mods folder on my external drive.
Yeah.
So it might be gone. It might be gone into history now. Because I know I was one of the last people that actually had that version.
Yeah.
But granted, that version was over a year old.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, I think the last time that version of Alina's map mods where it had all of the like progression in the same file, I think was back in like March of 2024. I think was the last time that was the up-to-date file. Probably was sooner, but I think it was around March.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rail Loader was great back then. Of course, it had problems, but
Everything had
Zamu.
problems
But the
back
thing
then.
is Zamu fixed these issues.
And he
And
was always quick
yeah, he
with
was
it.
quick. He was quick. He fixed it within like I think there was one update, one major update where he got an experimental patch out in like 2 hours of the
Yeah,
update
two
going
hours
live.
after the update. Yeah.
Like 2 hours, we
Somewhere
already
ridiculous.
had access to experimental, and all mods worked perfectly fine. It was just Railloader that needed the update, and I think Strange Customs, but Zamu makes Strange Customs as well.
And they're both Zamu's domains, so
Yeah.
and that is crazy work to get. Within 2 hours of the update, he had figured out the mods, what
Yeah,
needed to be
he
fixed.
figured out what needed to be fixed. I think when that one happened, I think that update was the same update that load IDs came out when we got the wood
Yeah,
chips at the sawmill.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I
So.
think that was the same version because I remember we were using before an update we were using Nix's
Yeah,
we were using Nix's additions thing that added two things. And I can't remember I know one of them was the wood chips, but I can't remember what the second one was.
yeah, it was a
Because
long time
I
ago.
know we kept using that one even after he took off the wood chips because we were using the second one that he had, which I think
Yeah,
it was
we
like
were
a
using that.
full on custom industry.
Yeah,
It might I don't know.
yeah, I don't remember, man.
No, I think it was something to do with silver. I think it added something to one of the industries in silver.
Yeah, it might have been something in silver.
Granted, yeah, like that's a while ago. That
A
was
long
back
time.
when Nix was doing when Nix had released Birdtown branch.
Yeah.
Like that was early. Nix hasn't been in the community for a year now.
Oh, he's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, he's been gone for about a year now. But yeah, every time there was an update, Zamu would get it pretty quickly.
Always on top.
He was always
Yeah.
on top, and if he got an update out and there was a problem with it, you would see that bug fix usually the very next day.
Yeah, like it was within 24 hours of a problem. He'd be there fixing it already.
I think there was like one or two times where he took a couple of days to fix a problem, but it wasn't a major problem.
Yeah, it was only small shit that took like a while to do.
And if you're obviously not in America, if you look at if you search up Rail Loader, you will see his link show up. And then if you try to scroll down, you'll have to scroll on your scroll wheel 10 times on default settings. Because I use default settings for my scroll wheel.
Yeah.
And it's wild to think that much has been done because we went from Manifest version 2 all the way up to Manifest. We can currently use with Railroad a Manifest version 7.
Yeah, that's a long way to come.
And then there's also another thing. Railloader works on the fucking Steam Deck.
It works on Linux, which anyone who's familiar with Linux understands just how much of a pain in the balls Linux is.
And
Linux
and
is
another
people who
thing is
hate
to even
themselves.
get it able to work on a Steam Deck because that uses Steam OS. So somehow
Which
it works on Steam OS.
To be fair, SteamOS is a distro of Linux.
Yeah, it's a distro of Linux, but at the same time, there is definitely a lot more barriers
difference
because
there.
Steam doesn't want you messing with the files.
Oh, there definitely would be like stuff there that would have had to be worked around to make it actually work.
Yeah, because
properly.
I know the Linux download is a script.
Yeah,
I
Linux is just a pain in the balls.
I don't know Linux. I use Windows. I'm using
Yeah.
Windows. I'm going to be using Windows 10.
Windows 10 is where it's at. I'm not like I keep getting those pushes to upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Anyways, back to topic.
Yeah, back on topic. Back on topic.
Back on topic. There's this has originally been brought up because of something in the ASR Discord, which is the Discord you're seeing right now. I've turned off all the channels because I don't want to have all the channels on, and we're in the staff stuff because
Yeah, we're now what staff.
we're in the hidden one. As you can see, there's only Luna, me, the bots, and my alt account, which is offline because he lives offline.
Gotta love it.
But yeah, I've got this reply from something that I said, which is basically, I understand this. This is understandable because if you take this into consideration, you're the developer, the backbone of a modding community. And anytime an update comes out that breaks your loader, your mod loader, the developers of the game get told that the mod loader is broken, and you get told that the mod loader is broken, but you don't get told it nicely. No. You get told it's nicely, and then get absolutely berated on questions on, like, when is there going to be a fix? Why is it not working? This is broken. Why is it broken? Like, and you have to deal with that while being able to make a patch.
Yeah, while actively trying to fix the problem.
And it's, at the moment, because we do not have modding support, it's not up to the developers whether or not modding stays alive. They do endorse modding. Like, they're happy that the game is being modded. They just don't openly support it yet because we don't have a solid build of the game. Because so far, in the last couple of updates, we've had a rewrite on how engines work. We've had a rewrite on how industries work, and we're about to have a rewrite on how the track works and the milestone system works. So we've got about... So when MOW comes out, we're probably only going to have like 10% of the original game that we had on release left in original code.
Yeah, everything else is getting changed.
And that code is probably... You're probably going to end up with like 5% of the original code on release, which is just like your basic stuff with like the areas, with all the area codes and the colors. Those are probably going to be the only things that are going to be original in the game. And obviously, the track layout is going to stay original. The track layout doesn't get modified.
Yeah, the track doesn't change.
But yeah, like, if we were to have modding support now, it would just create so much of an issue. So they're obviously holding it off. But they've moved it forwards from 1.0 into, like, the early alpha. Because we're probably going to see, like, version... I'm just going to throw a number out here, like, probably, like, version 0.8 of the game. Like, the official 0.8 version of the game is probably when we're going to get modding. And at the moment, we're probably, like, 0.5, 0.6 in the game. So there's still a lot to come, as well as I expect there to be line expansions. Because we only have about half of the Murphy branch to our access. And I assume by 1.0 we're going to have the full line. So that's another thing. Yeah, I want at least Murphy, because that's only 20 miles of track past Andrews, roughly.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to when they make new maps.
Yeah, new maps will be fun, because there's a few CBL buildings that I want to use, but there's just nowhere to sit them because we're in such a hilly area. So if we...
Like, the thing that annoys me the most with, like, all the pressure the zamu gets to uphold his mods is that he's one dude doing this as a passion project. Like, he's not getting paid for any of this. He's, he's out here busting his balls to make us mod loading that works properly and works well for nothing in return. And every time something goes wrong, he is getting absolutely hammered with complaints. He's getting all this backlash for something he can't help. And he's doing this for nothing, getting all this, this abuse.
Let me just quickly see. Let me just create an invite for the Railroaded main Discord. The Railroaded main Discord has over 1,000 members as well. Although that's Railroader modding. That's not even Railroader. That's Railroader modding has over 1,000 people. I
Oh
got the
yeah,
wrong Discord server. The main Railroader Discord server, holy fucking shit,
it's huge.
14,000 members. The main Railroader Discord server has 14,000 members. And there is probably like something like 100 to 500 of those people who are constantly berating Zamu and the developers when mods break. And another thing you've got to think is Zamu has a fucking job. He has a job.
Like
He
this
can't
man
always.
lives
He
a
can't.
normal life.
Yeah, he lives a normal life. He doesn't make money off of Railloader. It's also open source, which means you would potentially have multiple people to contribute it. But Zamu is the one that double checks the code and actually allows it if it's good, or
Like
says
this,
no, you need to revise it more.
like this man is one man, absolutely busting his balls to build and maintain this modding tool that everyone so heavily relies on. Like, this man is on his own. And it's like the whole project is open source. Anyone could start working on the project.
Yeah, there's
But
nothing.
no one does.
Yeah,
No one does.
not many people do. I mean, I haven't looked at the code. I have no idea how it works. I know how to use the mod loader to make code, but I do not know how the mod loader itself works.
Yeah, I mean, reading it and writing it are two different things.
Yeah. If I sat down for like three plus days, I could probably go through and understand probably a portion of it, but a lot of it would probably be me going back and forth with Zamu to understand how his mod loader works.
Yeah, you'd need to talk to him about it to understand exactly how it works.
Yeah, because there could be like there could be custom lines of code that are just unique to Railloader, because there most likely is.
Oh yeah, there would be. There would be plenty of custom lines that'd
'Cause
be railroad
we're starting to get to a point where Zamu is getting so fed up with this, and apparently there has been something similar that has happened with Dero Valley and Custom Car Loader. I don't know anything on it, but
Yeah, I don't know about like the rest of that.
so I got an absolute paragraph after I was talking in the ASR Discord from someone who I will keep anonymous. So
Yeah,
no
well,
one comes
I mean,
after me. I don't care if you want to know the name. No one is setting backlash.
We'll discuss his paragraph, but we won't say who it is.
Yes.
He can remain
Anonymous, because
anonymous.
I will not endorse people going in and harassing people more than Zamu has gotten harassed. Obviously, with this, I'm going to expect in the comments that this is going to be heavily controversial and I'm probably going to get some negative comments. I don't care what you guys have to say. This is what I have witnessed personally from what Zamu has done.
Yeah.
Because I have been in the Railroader Discord since day drop.
Yeah, since the game came out, we've been
I have watched the modding community grow over time. It used to be incredibly small, and now we have over 36 pages of mods on Nexus. And that's not even all of them. With all of the mods that we probably have something close to 50 Nexus pages worth of mods out there.
Oh yeah, like the amount of mods has grown
Because we've got a ton of like old mod developers like Nix's. There's like a good like 12 of Nix's mods that we haven't seen in so long because Nix left the community after the exact same issue. So much backlash. An incredible amount of backlash caused him to leave in the first place.
Yeah, he just chose that was enough, which is exactly what's happening to Zamu now.
Yeah, it's like, exactly what's happening, and we experienced firsthand what happens when you make someone walk away, because Nix was the sole handler of Scold, the standard catalog of load IDs, which has about 95% of the custom load IDs that are used in Railroader modding.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Obviously, back then it was the only load ID. It was the only catalog of load IDs, and it was incredibly smaller, but it was still a significant part in modding. And when he left, people went into a tizzy, and then Rex, who was a moderator at the time, ended up taking it over. But another thing is another thing that happened. The GP40 The
Yeah,
the GP38 issue. That's another thing that's happened in our timeline, and we almost lost the GP38 due to that. But luckily, B-Man still released it.
like,
Because
I'm gonna be
something that
honest,
happened, that
that whole
scandal
thing
was
dumb.
wild. That scandal was
Like,
so wild because
I
I know the
understand
full
why
story.
B-Man cracked.
What ended up happening was the GP38 got sent off to the WNCRR. Someone in the WNCRR, with its playtest build, actually, it might not have been WNCRR because I know B-Man gave his test build of the GP38 out to several different communities. And then one of those communities had gotten it leaked, and it somehow made it its way into the moderator team of the Red River route, which ended up adding it. But the thing with the Red River route, it's a public server. So that means anyone that joins that Discord can go in and download those mods. And the GP38 was an unreleased mod. And then and then from there, the Red River route, a member in the Red River route downloaded that and then gave it to their friend,
Who shared it.
which uploaded it. They actually uploaded it. Yeah, they uploaded it to Nexus as their own work. It got taken down within like 2 hours because it was blatant fraud. But it still made the Railroader community go silent for those 2 hours that it went out, because we had another incident before where we had the H9 Plague Doctor's H9 was leaked, and then that was gone. It's since come back, but we had a previous incident where the H9 got leaked from the WNCRR Discord, and then it got taken away. Plague Doctor stopped doing it. So we had already had an experience where there was a locomotive that many people wanted that wasn't going to come out because someone leaked it. And when the GP38 came out, everyone stopped because the GP38 was with the GP38 script, which is a very popular script nowadays. It's used for a lot of locomotives now.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a custom script that makes accurate simulations of a diesel locomotive. And it's a fully custom script by Mainman. So we had that, and then along the path now, we've had quite a few more leaks. So we've lost a few things due to leaks.
Oh yeah, we've lost a fair few things to leaks.
So we've had leaks which have made the modder that made it so upset that people decided to leak it when they were told not to, that they've stopped it. And then we've had people like Nix who have left the modding community due to so much backlash from the community for no real reason. And now we're going on the path of the entire modding community being at stake.
Yeah, like everything the modding community has, a lot of it rests on Zamu's mods. So
Yeah.
if Zamu goes,
if Zamu leaves
doing his mod updates, this could very well put a halt to the Railroader modding community.
The thing is if Zamu leaves, there will be a halt in modding for probably upwards of a year. We might end up getting
build a new mod loader,
yeah, like we might get the new mod builder, but then we could have the supported mod loader come out before that. That's built into the game, because we're starting to get close to that point where we might be getting modding support soon. So if we the thing is Zamu is the sole reason why this could end good, because if Zamu stays in the community until modding support happens on Steam, then Zamu will most likely get hired into the Railroader team and be able to just directly input his code into the game's code as the mod loader. Which means anyone on Nexus that has made mods that require Railroader, or anyone in general, can just upload their mods to the Steam Workshop and they will work without any modifications. Obviously, there might be a few modifications because Steam Workshop probably handles it a little bit differently, but
yeah, that'll be a see when it comes thing. But yeah, if Zamu sticks around, it could make the implementation of mods a lot easier.
Yeah, because I'm It's wild because in America, obviously the tariffs and that at that time we didn't know why it happened, only that it was because of the tariffs. But now it's more apparent that the tariffs was just the
Yeah,
final
that was the
push.
straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, because in this one, he's obviously very frustrated that people first just absolutely criticized him whenever anything broke, but then when he took away that stuff that made modding possible, everyone complained that he took it away because it's essential. Railroader is one of the backbones, is one of the two mod loaders that actually work in Railroader, but it's the only mod that can modify track, industries, buildings. Most of the mods that you will see on Nexus require Railroader. The only mods that don't are things that on Nexus, like the used market, that's stuff. Rolling stock and its skins, those are Unity Mod
Unity
Manager.
mod manager.
So if Zamu leaves, we lose track modding, we lose industries, we lose custom buildings, we lose UIs, lose custom. Actually, no, custom UIs are in Unity.
Yeah,
But
custom UI.
yeah, custom UIs are Unity. But we lose so much. We lose so much. So we would be left with UIs and locomotives with locomotive skins. That's all we would be left with if Zamu leaves.
Oh yeah.
I also don't know what happened with the Derail Valleys community, but I feel like it's something similar.
Yeah, I mean,
Where
it'd be nice
people
to know.
constantly, because I know Custom Car Loader was a very dependent mod and it was made by Zamu, but it also broke almost every time an update was released. So every
Yeah.
time an update came out, Zamu had to go in and fix it.
I kind of don't blame Zamu for dropping the custom car loader thing because that was a lot of work. But then he brought it back in the end, so
Oh, is he the one that brought it back?
I don't know if he brought it back.
Yeah,
But
I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure it was Zamu who brought it back.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't kept up on Derail Valley because I couldn't care really.
Yeah. Custom car loader was such a huge thing for DRL Valley.
Yeah, it
too.
was huge. It was what led to the custom skins, the custom locomotives. A lot was riding on the back of custom car loader, and all of a sudden, if you piss off the developer, if you constantly berate them, and if there is such a small minute of a community that gives a developer so much hassle that it wouldn't be worth keeping the mod up, they're just going to leave. And then the whole community suffers because of this small population. And it's sad that we have this population in Railroaders community, where there's this small population of the 14,000 people that are in the Railroader Discord, and that's not even like how many copies of the game there are. There are probably close to 20,000 copies.
Okay, now can confirm custom car loader was someone else.
Custom car loader or someone else? Yeah, okay. But yeah, like here's the thing: Zamu left before Simulator. When Simulator came out, custom car loader died. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the
And
thing.
it's only come back now, and that's been how many months? What, like 5 months it took for someone to be able to bring custom car loader back?
Oh yeah, it was a long time.
Because first, the person that was bringing it back would have to understand what the code originally did, and then modify it so that it can work in the new version.
Yeah, that's right. It's not as simple as, some people make it seem to be.
Yeah, like, if you do not mod at all, if you were just a user that downloads mods and drags them into, like, Railroader or something, or even Unity, there is so much more that goes into the back end. Because we have to have definition files, we have to have a ton of IDs, because for Railroader alone, for each section of track, you need 2 nodes and 1 spline. That's about 10 lines of code for just 1 spline. For just one straight piece of track, that's like 10 pieces of code. The code for just the base game is easily 100,000 lines.
Oh yeah, easy.
Just for
Easy.
the track, areas, milestones, you're probably looking at 100, 150,000 lines of code to make that possible.
Easy.
Because for me, making smaller mods, because I don't make big industry mods.
He
Like,
makes track.
I mainly make track and industries. I don't really make industries because industries are quite a bit more work.
They're doable.
They're very
We have
doable.
done them.
I would just have to sit down to do it. I'd have to do it across multiple days. I'd have to make all the track, and then I'd have to make all the spans for the delivery spots, and then I'd have to get those spans to communicate with an industry, and then I'd have to set that industry up to say, hey, you take these and you make these. Here's the load IDs. Here, and then you have to play with all the values to get it to where you want, and then you have to check it to make sure that you're not to make sure that cars are ordering, cars are being delivered, cars are going back, cars are being accepted in interchange.
Oh, there's a lot to it.
Like, if you take a mod, for example, Bryson Ice Cream Factory, it was one of the earlier industry mods. It has it has 4 tracks. So we've got 4 tracks there. So that's 4 different spans already that need to be made, as well as a building. So that building also has to get placed. And then we've also got all the little buildings around it, all the little decoration. And then we've got to go into the areas, go into Bryson, create a new industry, and then name that industry Bryson Ice Cream Factory. We then have to tell it, okay, you export ice cream in reefers. You import whatever the hell it imports in tankers. You import this in another tanker, because I'm pretty sure there's 2 loads in tankers. You also take this in boxcars, and you take this in coal. And then all that has to come together. You set your values and what you want at a tier 5 basis, because the game works off tier 5 is a 1-to-1 to what you set in your code. So then you set that up, and then you've got to make sure that everything works. You've got to make sure that the track isn't too sharp. You've got to test it. You've got to make sure that it's not ordering too many cars and it's ordering just enough cars to keep the industry operating. Because that's another thing. If it orders too little cars to what you set up, because you can set up storage in these spans, you can set up production, which is the original value that defines this stuff, and then you need to set your load. You set your load rate, which is how fast the car unloads, because you've got how fast the car unloads, how much storage the can be stored in this span for the industry, and then you've got how much the industry actually uses in that. Because there's an issue with, personally on the Brit save of the ASRR, there is currently an issue with the sawmill, where the ties produce faster than they actually are set up to load. So they bottleneck the industry. Well, I don't know, because it at tier 5 it brings the efficiency down to 49%. Because it's bottlenecked.
Yeah.
I have gotten a fix for it, and I just haven't given it to you yet, because it's not affected yet. It doesn't affect the industry quite yet. Tier 2 might affect it, so I might need to give you that for the next session, because we're going to be going to tier 2 in the next session.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's so much of this stuff that goes into making it, because when you also make the industry loading and unloading tracks, you have to define the span. You have to define the span that it's on, and then with that span you have to define the distance on a given segment, which is the piece of track that goes in between 2 nodes. And the nodes are what defines where the track goes and its turn radius and all that. It gets calculated by going the best route between these 2 nodes depending on their angles. And you've got all of this stuff there where it can take like months to develop stuff like that, especially when you're working on large industries. Like a current industry that's being worked on, which is being made by Cater, which is an industry at Governor's Island that's a steel mill. It's already having problems with the Unity engine not being able to load the terrain correctly. And it's not even an industry yet. It's still only a track layout. And it has like probably close to 5 miles of track placed down there. There's so many switches and stuff. all of this track needs to be checked and make sure that it's actually possible to travel on. And then even after that, there is an estimate at the current moment that we're going to be having like 8+ different load ID, different areas for cars to be delivered to. So it brings it's not gonna be out before MOW, I don't think, because it's not even in industry yet. At the moment, it's just a fancy track piece. But yeah, there's a lot. If you're a developer, you would have already known all this. But if you just use these mods, there's a lot more behind them than what they seem. It's not as easy as dragging a zip file over an exe and then the exe figuring it out. There's quite a bit more that goes behind it. And for those who want to give modding a go for it. Try. The easiest way to learn. The easiest way is to actually go in, dive in the deep end, because we've got a great community of modders. There's an absolute amazing community that make these amazing mods that everyone uses. And me personally, I don't want to see this go away.
Oh no. Like, it has brought so much more to the game. Like, don't get me wrong, the game has a lot to it.
Yeah, the game's
modding has added
plenty.
so much more to the game.
Yeah, because you can only play vanilla for so long.
Oh yeah.
Because we've only got one we've got one predefined start point, and we've got one map. At some point, you were going to get bored of that. Like, for me and Luna, we haven't actually legitimately gotten to Nantahala yet. We haven't even built the Alaka branch normally. I've operated the Alaka branch on other people's saves, but personally, we have never been able to actually build it in company mode due to getting a little bit burnt out of the one save. And then that's where modding comes in. The new mods that come out, I find ones that work, and then it's a complete new experience.
Yeah, it's something different.
Because there's, like, the weapons factory, and changes to sawmills, and, like, the Birdtown branch, when that came out, that brought the game back.
Yeah, added more to do as well.
Obviously, it never got finished, so it was very unbalanced, but it was still fun to play. Even though it was completely unbalanced and sometimes completely unplayable.
But it was still there, and it still added something.
Yeah, it added something to do. I would have loved to see it. I would have loved to see the final product if it had ever gotten finished.
Yeah, if it hadn't got finished, it would have been
Because when Nyx left, there was still an industry that hadn't been built, the chocolate factory, that was meant to be in the center of the up area. There was supposed to be a chocolate factory there, and that never even got started. We had a lead track for the industry where it was planned to where you could enter the industry from, but that was all we got because Nyx left before it was ever finished.
Which was so disappointing.
Yeah. I ended up stop using the mod after Rex took over because Rex made it even worse. Rex would just try and accompany for the predefined stuff, and even at some points try to boost the industry and modify the values to be even higher.
Yeah, he was just pushing too far, though.
Yeah, he was pushing too much for a single area to be able to take, because there wasn't enough yard for the amount of industries there were. Because even while Nyx was still developing it, you would have the bottom yard, and that wouldn't be enough. You would have to shove stuff on the track that would go up just to have room. But yeah, I honestly hope that this enlightens people on stuff that happens. And Zamu, if you're watching, I would love to sit down and talk to you about what you've experienced, because I haven't seen all that you've experienced with the community, and I want to understand. I might not live in America, but I can get access to all this stuff.
We've got friends. We know.
And at the end of the day, the thing that we need is less criticism and more praise towards these developers that spend so much time making these amazing mods for
Well, that's
everyone.
And that's the thing, it's for everyone, not just them, not just their friends. Everyone can use it.
But honestly, I think this probably is where I wrap it up, because yeah, I'm pretty sure it's covered just about everything in the community, and like stuff that really needs to improve and why it needs to improve due to previous events that have happened. Because we need to praise Zamu. When an update comes out, never expect it to go smoothly, especially when we are using a third-party mod loader that is developed by a single person, and don't criticize that person when there's issues with it. Praise him for being able to get all these updates out extremely quickly when these updates come out that break it. Because it's incredible how quickly he can fix the issues and develop so many more features for both the users and the mod developers that use the loader. Because without Rail Loader, we would be stuck with Unity. Yeah, we wouldn't have a modding community. If Zamu never made Rail Loader, there wouldn't be many mods. There would be mods that use Unity Mod Manager, yeah, but there wouldn't be any track mods. There wouldn't be industries. We wouldn't be able to place buildings or move buildings. We would be limited to what the map had. And new locomotives. We wouldn't have any of these large interchanges like Foxy Silver Interchange, which is a fucking... It is amazing, that. Foxy Silver Interchange. And it's Andrew's counterpart, because it's milestoned, it's got refuel points. It has refuel points. Refuel points aren't possible without Rail Loader, because Alina's Mod Manager, which allows this to happen, is reliant on Rail Loader. So without Rail Loader, we lose all of these things. And which it basically stops the modding community right on the spot. If Rail Loader never gets updated, we will never have updates to like Alina's map mods. We won't have a lot of this stuff. We'll still get locomotives, yeah, sure, but
we lose all the
there's no real point in having the T1 if you could run the cargo with a Berkshire. Because the only reason why the T1 exists is because of Rail Loader and modded industries, because the modded industry traffic became too much, so someone said, fuck it, I'm gonna make a large locomotive.
Cause and effect.
It's cause and effect. Without Rail Loader, we wouldn't have the modding community that we have today, almost 2 years later. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the great place to leave it.
Yeah,
we need Zamu, because without him, we wouldn't have the game that we have today. It's just as simple as that. Thank you all. Thanks to anyone who actually listened to this, or even who listened to maybe the first 5 minutes and then skipped to the end. The more awareness this gets, we might be able to potentially save Rail Loader. Because with the way it's leading now, it might not last for much longer.